go ahead and fill me in, and I'll be taking notes and everything as we go along.
Yeah, sure. I mean, kind of pretty easy. We have a kind of mix pit bull. She's a 6-year-old.
Hello.
Hello. This is my wife, and that's the dog.
Okay.
And so we are kind of trying to have her social, mostly with other dogs. So that's the only problem that we are having when kind of there are other dogs around. She is kind of not happy, and it's not that she attacks them, but kind of if they get around, then kind of she kind of go after
She's
them.
nervous, yes, and she pull on the leash if there is another dog approaching us, and stuff like that.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So no problems with people or anything.
No.
It's really.
Yes.
And we go out from time to time. We want to leave her at kind of a boarding or anything, and we can't to leave her in an environment where she is with other dogs, because she's not properly behaving properly with other dogs. That's the bottom line.
Okay. So go ahead and tell me more about the socialization. Like, so when has she had issues with dogs socializing? Like, what are you guys take her to a dog park or?
She grew up with another dog that was our previous dog, and it was a German Shepherd. And then we take her in, and she was about 6 months old. And she did great until around 3 years, 4 years. Then the border starts telling us that she's been a little bit bossy, that she's really selective with the other dog. And also because our older dog is having problem with his back leg, we start boarding them in the separate way, so they are
they were just staying by themselves. But now the older dog passed away, so she's gonna be alone. And
we moved from California from here, so she's a new house, a new neighborhood. She's alone now without her body, and so she's getting more nervous. She's more insecure, in my opinion.
Okay.
She's more, she's always follows me everywhere. She wants stay near to me every time, even if there are my husband or my kids in the house. So, you know, she howls when I go out, and she never done that before.
Okay. So.
But I mean, back to the socialization problem. So problem at the boarding, kind of even kind of when we go out, and kind of depending on the dog that pass by, she gets nervous. She does the hairs on the back, and she pulls a little bit towards. That's kind of we are paying attention, not having her kind of getting close or free with anyone because of that. So.
Yeah. So she's never actually like bit a dog before.
No, she's been bitten though, because a couple of times, you know, something. The little dog, they always can go without leash because they are little and they do nothing bad. Attack literally, and so. But no, she never responded. No, because if I told her freeze, she stay because she knows that I don't want her to react in any way. So it's not something natural. She's really frustrated about it, but she tried to do what I ask.
Oh, so loose, off-leash little dogs will come and bite her, but she doesn't bite back.
No, never. No, and he had a German Shepherd, pretty rough, without leash, go jump over her, and she tried, but he was more scared than aggressive, honestly.
I see. Okay.
So she reacts because she, in my opinion, are scared, or she don't know what to expect from another dog that is approaching her. You know, at the park, 90 times out of 100, the dog are all free without leash because the owner told, okay, they are friendly. Yes, they are friendly, but they approach her they jump on her, they want to sneeze, and she doesn't know what to expect. And so she get defensive because she's her experience with the other dog.
Yeah. Yeah. It
So
makes sense.
she doesn't have a proper introduction, and she doesn't know how to this should work, you know. And so she said, okay, before you bite me, I start being, you know, aggressive. No,
Yeah.
not really, but
Yeah.
this
Makes
is
sense. And then on the walks, let's say you're walking down the block and there's a dog coming. What does that look like?
If the dog stares at her, she's building up energy. So she starts looking at him, she gets tense, she starts pulling a little bit on the leash. And if the other dog starts barking or in some ways wants to get to her, she doing the same.
Okay.
If
Does she
the
bark?
dog, if the dog pass through, can be that most likely she doesn't mind the other dog, but it's not something that you can say for sure. It's
Okay.
always depend. This is worst in the neighborhood. It's better in the place that she doesn't know. So in the new place, she is more calm. I don't know why, but when we approach another dog, she's also, I don't know, she's minding other stuff around her. She is not territorial in a new place, maybe. I don't know why, but it changed a little bit when we are in a new place. And it's better also if she had a hairball in her mouth.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know, probably she's thinking about something else. I don't know why, but she's more reactive if she has her ball.
Okay. And you give her a bone on the walk to hold, or?
No, usually we go for a walk and then we go to the park. We play with the ball because she really loves the ball. And so I can teach her sit, stay, and then on the way back, I leave the bird to her, the ball to her, and I take it back when we are at home.
Okay. So then when an off-leash dog's approach her when she has the ball, she starts getting aggressive, right?
What?
So when she has her ball,
Yeah.
and if a dog comes to her,
Yeah.
she gets aggressive, right?
No, she's less aggressive.
She's less aggressive with the ball.
Yeah, because I don't know if she's thinking of her ball and on paying attention or less attention to the dogs. I don't know. She seems more relaxed.
Oh.
If she has her ball, you know, like the pacifier for the little kids.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like that, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So far we have when off-leash dogs approach her, she tends to act more like she doesn't know what to do. So since there's like a tense situation, she doesn't want the dog to come to her. She kind of takes it, kind of like she handles the situation herself. Like, I don't want this, so I'm gonna let the other dog know, right? And then we also have on walks, when she sees a dog, she starts to get tense. And then as the dog's, if the dog gives the same energy to her of like tension and barking, then it just escalates, and then they both start barking.
Yeah.
And then when you're playing ball with her, she kind of zones, like she like only focuses on the ball and like zones out of the whole world.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, and when the dog passed us, she tried to sniff after the dog. You know, when the dog, I don't know if it's again a territorial things. She thinks she's the boss around here and everything is. I don't know, but yes, basically she do that, and she's also prey drive. She has a high prey drive. Squirrel, rabbits, and
Other things.
Everything, yeah.
Everything that move fast. It's
What
wow.
about bikes, skateboards or bikes?
Yeah, skateboard sometimes, not always, but yeah. Now she knows what they are because we used to live in California. But the first times that she saw a skateboard, yes, he tried to bite her. Yeah.
How long have you been in Chicago?
1 year and a half, almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you were saying that, so she's gotten comfortable with the new environment and the new walks you go on, that now she's starting to go back to like the barking, like in California, or you said California, right?
Yeah.
Because you said she doesn't bark or act tense in new environments.
No, but like we take the car, we go downtown, and yeah.
Okay.
So it's a new environment, more things around. She gets distracted.
She doesn't know the smell, and I don't think she think that she's her home there, and so she's more, you know.
She's
calm.
just more distracted by other things. Yeah.
Okay.
And in the neighborhood, I walk her a lot, and so every day, 2 times a day, and so all the whereabouts around our house for her, it's I don't know, it's something familiar, and so maybe
Okay.
Another dog is not something that she likes.
What else? Anything else I need to know about? I'm sorry, what's her name?
Torrine.
Torrine?
Yes.
Anything else I need
We call her Tori.
Tori, yeah.
Tori?
Yeah.
Anything else I need to know about Tori?
No.
Okay. So what do you walk Tori on? Like, do you use a harness, a prong collar?
No. I used to use the chain, the one that is.
I mean, she has just a kind of
the collar that
a standard collar.
Yeah. No, it's not standard. It's the one that that it close a little bit when she pull.
Okay, but okay, so martingale, right? It's called martingale.
I don't know what's the name. I can show you.
Yeah. Because she used to wear a chain collar, but when we moved here, I lost it in the park. I never take another one. So.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I was wondering.
We have that one at home, and we start using this one.
Okay.
So she went to. Okay.
She has this thing, so when she pulls, it kind of gets a little bit tighter, but not
because
much.
You know, I live in large. It's not.
I see. Okay.
We are not going anywhere.
Okay. So you're mostly focusing on. So for the socializing part of like you're specifically trying to, are you trying to have more control when off-leash dogs come to you, or are you trying to make her, like, what are you trying to work through there?
She can, if she doesn't want to play with any other dog, never ever, it's okay. But she had to coexist with another dog if there is, you know,
So,
if we are next in the table, or if we are passing by, you know, because otherwise I have to leave her at home alone.
Ah, I see.
So, I mean, when we are around and she's at the leash, she should not kind of try to go after any other dog or anything. That's kind of even if she doesn't bite or anything, but kind of she shows aggressiveness and kind of, and that's like quote unquote dangerous for kind of whomever is bringing her. Sometimes we have our parents that are kind of walking her. They are old, and we don't want anybody to get hurt. And also, like as I was mentioning before, in a boarding context, she has to stay. I mean, in most of the boarding, she has to stay like in a big cage with other dogs. We would like her to be able to do that. It's not that we are leaving her a lot of times, but a couple of times a year for a couple of weeks, we leave her, and we just want to kind of have the freedom of, we bring her there and that's fine, and she can stay with other dogs, and that's it. So without kind of reacting or kind of being perceived as aggressive.
If it's possible, because
Yeah.
you have to tell us if this is possible for her or not, because she's 6. So
Yeah. So with the socializing, like you said, minimum, since she has lived with another dog before and she's played with that dog, the German Shepherd, it's more, it's easier to have them coexist, like you said. Like the minimum, at least what we can accomplish for Tori is to just be next to each other, and they don't need to play, but also don't bite each other, right? Just be next to each other and just relax, right? So we can get that. The pulling on leash and like the reactivity you're seeing can also be addressed. So you kind of spoke about a little bit. You said you want to be able to walk by dogs. You want to be able to have the control when an off-leash dog comes to you, and you also want to be able to bring her to a restaurant, like an outdoor patio.
Yeah, correct.
yeah.
Good. And then, do you guys know the way we train and the training tools that we use when we're working with dogs?
Yeah.
Okay. What? Or
Yeah,
you don't
the
use
collar and the collar.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I saw all of the video on your website, and I read about the collar because honestly, it's not something that I really like, but I want to keep an open mind.
So you saw on our video. So what do you know about e-collar?
That is something that can help the dog to focus to what you are asking him to do, and so help him to see what is good and what is bad. So,
correct. So
correct.
dogs are.
I read the website on the special kind of e-collar that you used. So on their website, they are all the video and they explain everything. So
Yeah,
I did my own work.
Good. So yeah, e-collar it's physical because it's. Have you guys ever been to a physical therapist?
Mm-hmm.
It's that you ever have like, it's called they put like a patch on you and it like moves the muscle, right? That's e-collar. Same technology. So it's a box. It's got two little points, and they put them on the dog's neck, and it's physical. So like if we're going up, you'll start to see the shoulder like twitch like that, right?
Yeah.
Now let's say Tori is staring at a dog, like she's loading up, like you said, right? She's loading, and we're going higher, and then you start to see like the shoulder moving, like she's staring, but she doesn't care, right? It's happening, but she doesn't care. So as we go higher, because we need to address these things, she's still staring. We're going up, up, and then all of a sudden we hit a number. Then she does this, like she like looks away. She's like, "Whoa, what was that?" Right? So we're trying to get in the head of like, "Hey," we're like patting him on the shoulder, like, "Hey, hey, hey, don't do that. Hey, don't do that." And then we're like, "Hello," and then she's like, "Oh, okay." So it's more like just like getting their attention and like physically touching them, right?
Mhm.
Dogs are physical animals. If Tori doesn't like a dog coming to her, she's gonna let the dog know. How would Tori let them know? Through their mouth, right? So
Yeah.
it's gonna be either a bite, growl, or a snap or something through the mouth. So it's physical. Dogs, it's physicality is their language, body language. They understand. That's what they thrive on. So the reason why we get the best results with e-collar is because it's physical. It's touching them, and it's being uncomfortable, and it's providing them consequence for the behavior, right? Um, it's electric, but it's not electricity. So it's not going through the body when you press a button. It's only touching and going through the 2 points you have here. So if you have it here, you'll start to see the twitch happen here. If you have it here, the twitch will happen here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
We use a brand called Dogtra. Um, our model we would be using for Tori is called the 1900S Black Edition. This collar has 127 levels. So you can go all the way up to 127 from 0 to 127.
Mhm.
Cheaper e-collars that are not good have 10 levels. So think of that 10th level equal to 127. We have 117 more breaks to make it more specific to Tori and whatever situation we're in or scenario we're dealing with Tori. Does it make sense?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for those cheap collars, sometimes they do provide electricity through the dog. I don't think they do that anymore, but let's say on those cheap e-collars we're at 5, and 5 is making Tori yelp before she doesn't feel it. So 4, 5, there we need to get in between. So that's where our brand comes in handy. If 30 doesn't get her attention, but then 50 or 40 is too high, then we can go 35, right?
Mhm.
I don't know what number Tori is going to be on for like her working, what number, her regular number when we're training. She
Mhm.
will let us know very first class, very first exposure to the e-collar, right?
Mhm.
So, so we don't know what number will be using for that.
Mhm.
So um, the reactivity and the insecurity of when dogs approach her is just like, it's like humans, like we don't go walking around running up to a stranger, be like, hey, hey, how are you? And like start touching them, right? That's uncomfortable for us. But humans have a way to communicate that through words, like, hey, please don't do that. Don't touch me. Stop, stop, stop. And then they, call police, or like sometimes some humans, some people will be like, all right, this guy's touching me. I need to fight this guy or be self-defensive. And then they'll like punch or some sort of physicality. Dogs is the same thing. If a random dog runs up to Tori, she's like, I don't want this, right? So she kind of gets like flighty, where she's trying to get away, but then
Yeah.
she's biting
Yeah.
to,
She's trying to get away, and she used me as.
yeah, exactly. So we can't make her play, right? If she doesn't like dog, right?
Yeah.
But what we can do is give you tools and knowledge to kind of know how to control that situation with if that happens. Obviously, it's just like advocating for your dog, letting your dog know that I have it handled and I'll get the dog away from you. So if it's like, a little dog, we've had a lot of we've been in a lot of situations where, because we train at Oz Park. Oz Park's in the city. It's like really, really busy, and they
Yeah.
have a lot of off-leash dogs running around. We've had situations on a lot of situations where like off-leash dogs will run up on the dog we're training with who's not friendly, and we have no problem being physical. You know, first we'll yell, right, clap, confront the dog with forward pressure. Sometimes dogs see you walking towards them and like, okay, we won't do that. But then like those dogs who don't understand social um, signals will keep moving forward. So then we've gone to the point of just kicking the other dog, just like kicking them away, so that they're like, oh, right, and then they'll do a 180 and run back to the owner. And
Yeah.
the owner gets mad, like, why are you kicking my dog? Well, why is your dog off leash running to our dog?
My dog is friendly, and yeah, your dog is friendly, mine it's not. So
So we have a lot of stories about um, those situations, you know. So it's going to be hard for that, but like I said, we'll give you the tools to kind of give you more handling skills on her and how to go about it. What else? Any questions so far?
yes, why do you think that the e-collar, I think I know the answer, but why do you think the e-collar is better than the prong collar in our case?
Okay. So let's say we start prong collar. Prong collar is the spiky ones, right? That look like they have spikes.
Yeah.
That's supposed to mimic a dog bite. So if you pull up on it, so here's the collar, it's supposed to close, right? And tighten and
Yeah.
restrict. So let's say we're walking with Tori and she's staring at a dog. We give her a yank on the prong, like a leash pop. What a leash pop is, it's like a quick bite, like choom, right? And a
Yeah.
quick bite right here. And let's say she's like, what was that? And then she's confused, right? So we must see some confusion. And then we're like, oh, it's working. As we keep going along, let's say she's looking at a dog starts barking, leash pop. She feels it. She doesn't care now. And she's still looking. And you can give your strongest leash pop. So let's say your strongest leash tug pull is a 7 out of 10. That's your strongest, right? But then Tori is at an 8 or a 9. You'll never override
Okay.
the brain because it's not strong
Okay.
enough, right? With
Okay.
e-collar, you can because there's more power to make it more uncomfortable for her to be engaged in a dog, right? Another issue is, let's say the prong collar breaks. Let's say she pulls, or like you're walking, right, loose leash, then she just bolts at a dog, and then she hits the end, and then it breaks, it falls apart. Now you have no way to tell her to come back, right? Because now she's off leash versus e-collar. The e-collar would be on, and then we can get her to come back if she were to break with the prong. You can have a prong collar with e-collar, which is what I recommend for you guys since you want more. So let's say you're walking Tori, right? And then you turn a corner and there's a dog. You're not going to be fast enough to turn up the number or go to the e-collar remote. You'll have to use a prong collar in that situation to pull her up because it gives you more control than a regular flat collar, right?
Yeah.
That, or a harness or a gentle lead or anything like that. It gives you more control so that if a dog came, you can easily just pull back versus just having the e-collar there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good. So prong collar is also confrontational. She sees the leash attached to you, and she sees you correcting her. So sometimes if she doesn't want to be corrected, you can get some protest behavior where
Yeah.
she's like, I don't want to do it. And then she'll like bite the leash or these other things.
No. No, she's really respectful for with the humans in general. So when you told her something, usually she listened to you.
Good.
So no, that no,
Okay.
Yeah. So in e-collar, you wouldn't get that problem because she doesn't know you're pressing the button. There's nothing connected. It's just you have the remote. She doesn't see you pressing it, right? I mean, unless you show her, but don't do that. But like she's gonna think that's like the universe correcting her. So it's like
there is no conflict between me and her because she doesn't see me doing nothing, so she doesn't. Okay.
Correct. And then also, but yeah, does that make sense? Like why prong collar sometimes wouldn't work in this situation? Because prong collar, like I said, con is sometimes it's not strong enough. When you take the leash off, you lose control. So it's like 60, 70% control or like reliable obedience if the leash is on.
Mhm.
E-collar can get us to close as 100 to 90% of reliable obedience, right?
Mm.
And with the reactivity, how we would go about that is teaching her the heel command. Heel, our style of heel is walk with me, sit with me, and stay when I walk with me, stay with me, and sit when I stop. So if I take, or if you guys take 5 steps with Tori, Tori
Yeah.
takes 5 steps. If you take 10, Tori takes 10. If you come to a stop, she's to automatically sit, no word said.
Yeah, I was already trying to teach her to sit when I stopped, and she's doing pretty well, but you know, she's not perfect.
Good, yeah. Good.
Because I use positive reinforcement and often the ball. So she wants, if she wants the ball, he have to do something for me. So, but
That's good, yeah. So with this strictness and because we're applying discipline to her walks now, right?
yeah,
So the idea is that the dog is so focused and on you and making sure that her right shoulder is parallel to your left leg, like glued there. If it passes, she's gonna get corrected. If she is behind, there's gonna be a correction, right? So she's gonna be so focused, like, all right, I gotta stick next to mom or dad, right? That she won't even care about dogs or people or anything like that, right?
Mhm.
So there's like the reactivity spectrum. Like first, what goes away is humans, bikes, rollerbladers, squirrels moving fast, bunnies moving fast. That goes away, and calm dogs. Then it goes reactive dogs. Sometimes if it's still moving stuff like bunnies, rabbits, and motorcycles or trucks or bikes, right? After that's done, it's the you turn the corner, there's a dog, right? That's you can't predict that, and we can't really. It's hard to fix it because it's a surprise, right? So it's a surprise for Tori, but usually, like that's the psychology behind it. That our heel command, even though it's obedience, it's also addressing behavior of the reactivity of I want to go see who that dog is, or like I see a dog, I'm getting annoyed, I'm loading up, and everything like that. Does that make sense? Because we're trying to make her become like it's like the ball, right? She's so focused on the ball, she doesn't care about anything else. It's the same thing for walk, where she won't care about anything else. She's focused on what you're doing, where you're going, how many steps you take, and everything like that. Does that make sense?
yes, yes,
Any questions so far?
no.
Nope.
So were you guys looking into? I saw you said board and train, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Were so you want her to stay here with us and then we train her? Um, that's what you were interested in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions about the board and train program?
No, but only one question. The dog are in the cage during the night, or they have somewhere else where to sleep?
So they sleep in the crates.
They stay in the cages.
Yes. They're in the facility. So we have like the main area, playpen, treadmill, training floor. We have beds here so they can practice resting and coexisting without interacting with the world, just relax here. And then we have the crates and kennels over there. And then the back room is a carpeted area with a whole bunch of kennels, and the dogs sleep in the kennels. There's always someone here 24/7 on the premises. So if he hears barking, he goes and addresses it. But dogs sleep in the kennels here. Is Tori crate trained or kennel trained?
She used to be, I mean, when we got her home, she was staying in the crate. When we were going out, she was staying in the crate.
Yeah.
But we are talking many years ago.
Yeah.
Now she has not been in a crate probably since she was like 2. So
Okay.
it's kind of many years now that she doesn't go into any kind of crate.
Okay, so she just hasn't been in a crate ever since then, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it should be fine if we have issues and we find that she keeps, like, say that she breaks out one night, right? We can always, we've done it before where we put a dog in a playpen where it's like open and it's caged, and and we put like a little bed for her, and she can walk around and just lay down and everything and like just hang out there instead of having the risk of her breaking out and bothering the dogs or anything like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, boarding and train. So we have the 1 week program, we have the 2 week, and the 4 week. We always recommend the 2 week. 1 week is mostly for like dogs who are just our owners who are just looking for like obedience. Like, I just want my dog to sit down, stay, place, come and call, and walk nice. That's all. The 2 week and the 3 week is more like for behavioral issues like reactivity, and mostly that's it, because it's mostly what you're dealing with is just reactivity, right?
Yeah.
And I would recommend the 2 week board and train if you wanted to do the board train. 3 week is like it's more towards like off leash stuff. So like if you wanted to know how to play with her at the park with no leash, that's an option for you. But since she has issues with dogs, it's kind of like if if you're comfortable with that, right? And then the 4 week program is everything. We teach you everything. And then let's say you want to take her hiking in the woods, no leash, right? That's what the 4 week program is for. And everything is videotaped. So we videotape all the first sessions. So you get to see how she took the e-collar, how we worked her through her stress response, since e-collar is a stressor, right? No one likes being disciplined. So if she's being disciplined, she's going to have some stress, whether it's anxiety, fear, nervous, or maybe she gets a little flighty where she kind of wants to run away from it or avoid it. You see how we work her through that. And through her stay, we'll get over that hump. Once we conquer that hump, she's gonna become more confident with it. Exposing her, we take training walks outside so we can address the reactivity, right? We had a dog here who has reactivity issues. We taught everything, all the commands, heel and everything. And like our 4th day, 5th day, we took her for a walk outside. We saw a lot of dogs. She didn't even react. There was nothing, right? And she's always had issues. She's always overstimulated, which means you take her outside, she's like all over the place, like picking stuff up from the ground, scanning, looking everywhere, right? And we're not seeing any of that. So we'll take her for walks to like Home Depot. They let dogs go in there. PetSmart, just walks around. There's always a lot of dogs, especially in the summer, walking around. But yeah, like I said, everything's videotaped. First sessions, if you're doing the 2 week board and train, 1 week is recorded, and then the second week is recorded. Second week is like the long leash phase, where we're trying to control her mentally to be glued here. And we have a 30-foot long leash. So she has 30 feet to make mistakes, right? And we have to have her make the decision to stay next to us, not go somewhere else. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. Any questions?
No, I mean, the only one is kind of, we are gonna be out in reality for just 10 days. So how does the kind of the additional kind of 3-4 days work? I mean, she's staying there. Are we bringing her back and forth, or what's the dynamic?
So board and train is when you leave her here
Okay,
for
for
either
the entire duration.
yeah, for 2 weeks or 1 week. We have had some owners here and there who they did like 1 week board and train, and then the rest of the week they did daycare and train. So they went out of town, they came back early, and they they missed their dog, so they wanted to do the daycare and train so they picked him up like the Monday, right? So the week, and then the rest of the week was daycare and training, where they just brought their dog for like either from 7 a.m. to 10. That's where our drop-off time, and then they picked him up at the end of the day because we were training them throughout the day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's an option for you. Owners have done it. Yeah, board and train is when you leave your dog here for that stay.
Yeah. No, I get the concept. The only fact is that we are planning to stay out for 10 days, not for 14. So I was just wondering what we do with the additional 4 days. I mean, I was thinking either like the week and then we leave a few days for just the care, or kind of understanding if the second week we think is required, then kind of how does that look like? Expecting that her will want to have the dog back for when we come back.
I don't know what is better. Obviously, I like more if I can take her for the daycare and training, and then take her home in the evening. But if you think that it's less stressful for her, stay another week. It's okay. I don't know what can be better for her. I'm honestly wants to do the less, the better for her.
I mean,
for me.
It's 3 more days.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a lot of availability for board and train. Our daycare and train is pretty much filling up quickly. It's just personal preference what you guys want to do. Will it have any effect on the training? Maybe. It's nothing significant I can see, but you will get that in person. So the 2-week board and train, you get I think 4 hours of follow-up time, where we either here or at Oz Park for 1 hour or 2 hours a session, and we transfer everything to you. So you'll watch the videos, study them, and then when we meet, do you have any questions about the videos? No, okay. And we'll walk through everything in a scenario where it's like dogs everywhere, right? But it's personal preference, whatever works for your schedule. If you want to do the board train and then daycare train.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No.
I mean, what's next? Should I recontact the lady that I was kind of contacting the other day in order kind of to book everything?
Yeah, so after this consultation, I'll send you guys a follow-up email of everything we talked about, all the programs and pricings and what it comes with. I'll link to them so you can see what it comes with. And then the e-collar I recommend for Torrine, you can buy from us or you can buy from Amazon. It's up to you. We sell them for the same price. And then a contract that needs to be signed for you to proceed with. It's like a liability thing, like, agreements and everything like that. So once that is signed, we can move on to the billing, and we can start I'll invoice you guys for the programs. And after the billing, we move on to booking, getting you guys booked for the board and train or whatever ends up being chosen for Torrine.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
So you'll be in contact with me. If you're going to do board and train, you'll be transferred over to Kimberly, who's the daycare, the facility. She's the daycare manager. She manages the bookings and everything, make sure everything's going well. So you might speak to her as well. But then I'll let you know, and I'll forward everything to her so she can get you contact and everything. Anything else?
No.
Nope.
Just real quick, we have a few minutes left. Some common questions owners have with the e-collar. Is Tori going to have to wear the e-collar all day, every day, or forever, right? So yes and no. if you're going to go for a walk with Tori, it'd be on, since we can't predict what's going to happen on this walk. So let's say you're walking with Tori and then an off-leash dog comes to you, right? And then, or, you know, you're walking on a busy street and a car crash happens. She gets scared. She runs away. She gets out the collar, or like the collar breaks. You have the e-collar to make her come back, right? So we can't predict what's going to happen on these walks. So the e-collar would be on. Now, let's say in the home, she's an angel, right? Then you don't need the e-collar, right? Or let's say you have guests come over and you know she gets jumpy when the guests walk in, then you collar her up 30 minutes, 20 minutes prior, address whatever needs to be addressed. And then if you see her, she's chill throughout the night, then you can just take it off. So she's chilled out, right? Does that make sense?
Yes. But one question. At one point, we don't need to tap her to correct her.
So the more you use it,
how long it takes to
doing the homework, right? If you practice a lot and you're using it a lot in the beginning, the less you'll use it in the future, right? So
okay.
Jesse, our trained dogs, we only press a button like once a month maybe, because they're already trained, right? We press the button for like emergency situations. If like, you know, maybe my dog's smelling the ground, she sees something, I'm gonna press the button, don't do that, right? She's like, okay, you know, it's like once every other month we'll press the button. In the beginning, you're gonna want to press a button a lot, so you don't need to do it all the time in the future. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
The collar will be on for emergencies, but you're not going to be using it all the time.
Okay.
Right?
And how long it takes before I can stop tap?
Yeah, it depends on you.
Okay.
If let's say because owners walk their dog every day, right? Owners have to walk their dog. So there's an opportunity for you to practice a lot because you walk your dog every day, right?
Yeah.
So that should help. Now let's say you don't walk your dog every day. You're not practicing, so it's going to take you longer.
Okay.
Point of not using a button. Does that make sense?
Yes, and there is, I don't know if that is the case, but there is some collars that also an acoustic sound, so you don't have to tap her, but only with the acoustic sound, and she corrects herself. I don't know if this is the
so there's eliminating and there's controlling. We want to eliminate reactivity. If we introduce a warning sound, we're gonna have to give that warning sound all the time versus just not giving any sign. There's no sign, you just don't do that. So it's like owners who like their dog barking at the window, right?
Yeah.
They like it, but they want it to stop when it's become too much. So that's controlling. You're controlling that behavior. So bark, 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 enough, correct. Let's say you want to eliminate it. You don't want any barking. It's bark, 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 just correct. No verbal cue before, no sound, nothing. It's just, no, you don't do that. You give the tapping and the e-collar. And then the dog's gonna realize, okay, every time I do this, I get this consequence. Versus every time I do this, I hear this, and if I don't stop, then I get the consequence, right? So if you're on a walk and she's looking at a dog and you're like, no, 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 you're gonna have to say no all the time throughout the walks versus not saying anything. Press a button. If you do that, you get this. No second chances, no warning. That's just end of story. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Cool. All right, guys.
Should we, I mean, just a question. We have a couple of crates from when she was younger. Should we put it up and kind of get her use the game to the crates as a way to board her?
Yes. Yes. For now on, if you can, maybe throughout the night, she's sleeping in there for now on, put a little bed or whatever you'd like to put in there for her. In the middle of the day, maybe like for 2 hours or something, have her kenneled just to experience it again, start warming her up to it so that when we bring her here, it's not a completely new thing from when she was, so there's no issues. So that actually is a good idea. You should, yes, you can do that. Yes.
Okay.
What else? Anything else?
No.
Nope. Cool.
No.
All right, guys. It was nice speaking with you.
Thank you. I'm sorry for the delay. My very bad.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. But yeah, keep an eye out for that email. If you have any questions, email me, enrique@candyperspectives.com. But other than that, it should be sent either tomorrow or the next day. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Have a good one, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.